Oh, sorry about
Very
that.
glad. That's okay. Very glad to be here, and I've enjoyed my time at Kingsland University, and I can't wait to talk about my experience with you guys. So, and I'm very happy to see so many of you have signed up for this next cohort, and I'm here to be of help to you, answer any questions that you may have at the end of the presentation.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and thank you so much. I can't wait to get into your story of what you've been doing, what your plans are, and also if you can share with us what the program was like for you and stuff like that. Before we get into Jay's story, I do want to let you know that we do have an exclusive announcement for those who are attending this event. This is only open to those attending this event. So stay till the end so you can hear what that announcement is. And then before we get into all of that, I do want to ask you, why are you here today? What is it that you are interested in learning? And if you can type in chat why you're here. Are you here because you want a career change? Because you're not happy with what you do for a living now? Maybe you're not making enough money. You want job security, or you want a brighter future. You want to get into a tech field. Go ahead and type in the chat why you're here today, and then we'll be able to direct our conversations towards that as well, and make sure that we answer your questions. So I want to open up with talking about the career outlook for cybersecurity. As you probably know, cybersecurity is in massive demand right now. And the reason is because there is millions of data records being stolen every single day. We are seeing hackers, hack attacks all the time, and organizations are really affected. Imagine people's security information, or billing information, or I mean, there's just so much information out there, proprietary information that can be stolen or threatened in any way, and that really can affect an organization or a government. And so because cybersecurity breaches are on the rise, many organizations, the majority of them, especially large organizations, have experienced a cyber attack. And so what does that mean? That means they need a cyber team or a cyber person in charge to help make sure that they do not get attacked, or if they do get attacked, that it's thwarted. And so that's the key for getting into this field. And what we're seeing every single day, cyber in the news, cyber attack here, cyber attack there. I know that China had just recruited like 600,000 or 500,000 hackers for, I think, military reasons. Russia and Ukraine, and there's cyber things going on there. Israel had a recent attack. I think India just got attacked today from somebody in China, and they were trying to attack the electrical grid. So it's a very serious thing. So if you become a cybersecurity professional, you kind of are a superhero, protecting against these hackers and bots and things like that. What we're seeing in the field right now is that there are over 500,000 unfilled cybersecurity jobs in the US alone. And what that means for you is that if you get your skill set in cybersecurity, you have a very high chance of getting hired very quickly. And because of that, you have a lot of opportunities in front of you to be able to go out there. Now, you can also imagine that the pandemic forced organizations to go online, to go mobile, and to be able to better serve their customers and their employees. Well, by doing so, there's just more and more information technology assets out there that can be hacked. So the need for cybersecurity professionals has been growing. There's a shortage in cyber talent. And so that's a really clear opportunity for you for not only getting a job quickly now, but also for the long term, because technology is not going away. And due to this demand and the fact that you're in a high-tech field, we're seeing above average salaries for cybersecurity professionals. Starting salaries can be anywhere from 50 to 80,000 a year as just starting with no experience. We've seen some of our graduates making over 100,000 as a starting salary. And so it can be very lucrative for you. And all you need are the credentials from Kingsland. Eventually, there's other certifications and stuff that you can get, and we'll talk about that more later as we keep going. But the career outlook is spectacular. This is a great field. I was actually reading in the news recently that of like the top careers to get into right now, and cybersecurity is way up on the list, way up at the top. So, and for the reasons that we just talked about. All right, so let's meet Jay. Jay, how you doing?
Ricky, I am marvelous 2 times, and so are you.
I love that. So, Jay, tell me what's the banner behind you?
This banner behind me this name is one of 5 companies that I have. This is called JHL Resource Group. You see here, where my thumb is pointing down at the bottom there, you see, being this way, J. Lee Speaks. That's my logo as a motivational speaker. On this side, you see Wealth Summit Tours. That's the seminar that we go around the country doing, trying to help people build and maintain wealth. If you go this way, you see more logos. You see another logo, say JHL Real Estate Development. And then on the far end, which is what you guys really need to know about, is my company called Security Hack. That's my cybersecurity firm that I'm building and looking to get multiple contracts.
Yeah,
doing that as well.
Oh my gosh, you are busy.
Yes.
Wow. So and so it sounds like when did you establish your business Security Hack?
I established this around, I would say, about 4 months in my enrollment with Kingsland University.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that, because I want to talk to everyone about the importance of starting your career search early into. Yeah, we'll definitely touch on that. And so before you decided to go into cybersecurity, let's get into your story. What were you doing before that? It sounds like you've been busy, but before cybersecurity, and like you had in your mind, I think I want to go that direction. Before that, what were you doing?
Well, before cybersecurity, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I have been in IT for 28 years. I started in IT, but not the cybersecurity part. And for those of you who've never done any IT experience, don't worry, I will explain that as I go along. So I've been in IT, desktop support, help desk sort of thing, a little bit of network support as well. I've also been a speaker, of course. I've been doing a lot of humanitarian things. Like what I'm doing right now is mentoring people who have autism, and the state pays me some money for that. But I love the work. I love being able to help people learn and help people grow. That's pretty much my whole life prior to cybersecurity.
Wow. And what brought you to, hey, I think I want to start moving into cybersecurity?
Yes. In 2019, I had ended a contract with the VA, Veteran Affairs, with a company where we had a cybersecurity contract was for 5 years. We had got outbidded by a company called Booz Allen and Hamilton. So since then, I was out of it, but I wasn't doing the type of work that you're going to learn with Kingsland as it relates to cybersecurity, because cybersecurity has a big range of things in it. What I've done pretty much was I would say the policy side of cybersecurity. And while doing that, I wasn't technical. So being out of cybersecurity for these 3 years since 2019, I said, you know what? I still have a passion for IT and technology, but this time going back into it, I want to be 2.0. So a friend of mine introduced me to Kingsland University. He tagged me on a Facebook post, and I said, oh, I was just saying I wanted to do this. and I put both feet in. It wasn't a thought of my mind that this was going to be the right thing for me. I looked up Kingsland's history, and they had a good track record. And I said, you know what? When you're going to do something, you do it. And my father used to always ask me this question: what happens when you give a procrastinator a good idea? The answer is nothing. So I don't want to be that guy, that procrastinator. So I jumped in, I signed up for it, and guess who I get a call back from? Ricky. Ricky took me through the process. He took me through the testing, the little, I think it's like somewhat like a little test you go through before you get into this class. And I said, Ricky, I've been out of school, man. I'm 49 years old now. I don't know if I had the cognitive of school stuff anymore, but I'm giving this a try. So, but I was actually able to pass the test. The test wasn't that hard. He said, well, guess what, Jay, you passed. He put me through the program. He answered all the questions that I've had. And it's been a rough learning, but fun. It's been extremely fun. So I encourage you all, look at this as something fun to do. Technology is supposed to be fun, not difficult. Do not make it difficult. Have a good time in it. And one more important thing that I would like to say to each and every one of you: don't not quit. Do not quit. And if you are old like me, if you're in your 40s and you're in your 50s, I highly recommend you to eat plenty of carrots and fill yourself up with vitamin A. Why do I suggest that? Because at our age, we don't have the eyesight as a 20-year-old or as a millennial. So we want to make sure we're doing the right things, putting the right things in our body, eating right, make sure we're putting in the right minerals, the right vitamins, so that our eyesight is strong enough, because you're going to be 3 nights a week, you're going to be in front of a computer screen for 4 straight hours. You may take a little break from time to time, but it's not enough compared to the amount of time your eyes is going to be fixed in on that computer screen. So make sure you're taking your vitamin A, eating plenty of carrots, and eating healthy altogether, because you really is going to need it going forward.
Yeah, those are really good tips. Thank you very much. What I want to do at this moment is just kind of share with everyone what the cybersecurity program is like. Our cybersecurity program, as Jay had mentioned, is it's a short program to get you through quickly. You do not need a background in programming or IT or coding. We're going to train you everything you need to learn, all the way from the ground floor up to the advanced level, to become a cybersecurity professional. And as Jay also mentioned, there's a lot of different pathways you can take in the field. And what happens in our program is we're going to teach you the breadth of what those pathways are. You're going to learn the practical hands-on skills, and you will, at the end of the program, be in a place where you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go. Jay was talking about there's a policy side, there's also a network security side, a penetration testing side. I mean, there's a lot of different pathways, which makes it great for anybody who wants to join, based on what your talents are and your passions are. And so our cybersecurity program is 7 months. It's fully accredited. We're accredited by Sachs Cassie, which is the logo down here on the bottom right. And what that means is when you graduate, you have an accredited certification in cybersecurity, and that will be credentials to help you get a job in the field. There are other industry certs that you can go for to enhance your resume, and you will be prepared for many of those. So when you graduate, you could go right in and start getting ready for your tests for those other certs if you want to. However, you don't need those to get a job. We've had plenty of students that got jobs at like IBM or Microsoft, different organizations or government agencies, without any of that, only with the certification that you get from Kingsland. Another thing is that the Kingsland program is online, but it's live instruction. So you will meet with your instructor 3 days a week for lectures, for your demonstrations, for being able to ask questions and getting answers right there. And it's on Zoom, just like we're on Zoom now. So the the virtual experience, having that live instructor is way different than just doing a self-paced kind of program where you just read a thing and hopefully you get it. You actually will have somebody walking you through the step-by-step, and the instructors are very patient and very they'll go back and cover things as well. So again, this program is 7 months, fully accredited. It's to get you into the job quickly. All right. So let's go back to Jay. And Jay, I wanted to ask you, what was your experience like in the academic side of things, like going through the materials and the hands-on part? Tell us about your lab experience, your experience with the students, all that stuff.
It's been extremely fun for me. The materials were on point. The instructor was, just like you said, very, very patient. And what's also good for you guys is the TA, the teacher assistants. We had like 4 or 5 of them, and they were very engaging. We had breakout rooms, and they were all periodically coming to our breakout rooms just to make sure that whatever assignment we're working on, we were okay. We had any questions, things like that. So you actually going to get your hand held and walk through in this process. And as I mentioned earlier, when I said I had 28 years experience in IT, don't let that intimidate you or discourage you at all, because even with 28 years of experience, when it came to learning cybersecurity, pen testing, and the things that you're going to learn here, what I've learned meant nothing. It was like I was a baby all over again. So I was learning something very brand new. I was fresh at something, just like someone who had no IT experience. But you're going to learn it. You're going to be, walk through it the entire way. And then you have me. If you guys see me on Facebook, I comment all the time on Kingsland University's posts. Feel free to reach out to me as well if you have any questions. Jay, I'm stuck here, because what happens is teaching is learning twice. So if I'm able to help you get through an assignment, guess what that do for me? That freshes my skill set as well, that I'm able to do out there in the marketplace.
Wow. And now I know that as part of the cybersecurity program, you get access to a cybersecurity lab. I think it's through CyberScore or something like that. What is CyberScore for? What's the lab for? What do you do there?
Well, the bulk of your assignments is going to come from the labs. They're going to tell you what lab to go into. The lab is going to have their own set of instructions for you to follow. And then there's going to be some instructions that the professor may ask you, or the instructor may ask you to do as well. The good thing about those labs is once you have completed school, you're still going to have another like 6 months left of lab time that you can go into the lab and continue to practice. So if you ever go into a job interview and they talk to you about how long have you been doing a certain thing, you just tell them, well, I just finished school doing it. The good part is I still have keyboard time doing it, because I still have access to my school lab for another 6 months. So it's going to be beneficial for you to hire me because I'm steady practicing while I'm on the job. Mm-hmm. It's a good selling point also.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm going to share my screen again because I want to talk a little bit more about the class structure, and having that hands-on experience really does prepare you for day one of your job. So when you get into your job, you know exactly what to do because you've already done it in that environment, and you're going to be taught what's happening today in the world of cybersecurity. What are the today's top threats? How do you defend against them? How do you repair them? Those kinds of things. So you're not taking something that was written 10 years ago. You're learning things that are happening today. You're going to be prepared. That's going to give you a lot of confidence too when you start doing interviewing for job positions. If you can see on the screen, the accredited cybersecurity program starts on May 9th. So in about a month, we're going to start our next cohort. It goes for 7 months. You'll be done in December. You know, basically new job in December, January. That's awesome, right? It is online with virtual classes that are live. And so we do meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, or 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific. And then there is some flexibility built into the schedule. So if you can't make this exactly, all of the classes are recorded. So you will be able to go back and watch the recordings of what you did miss. Obviously, we want you to attend 100% of the classes so you can get all the support and academic, touch points as possible. But if you do have some struggles making one of the classes, or you need to leave early or something like that, you can be reassured that you can go back and watch those. What's more important than the attendance is that you are completing your homework assignments every week, that you're completing your projects, and that you're understanding the concepts and the content. That's what's more important. Attendance is a lower part of the grade, but like I said, there's that flexibility, and you're going to have direct access to your instructor and your teacher aides, like Jay was saying. So if you do have questions, you got them. Jay, I wanted to ask you, did you start any, or were you a part of any study groups outside of, what the teachers and the teacher aides did?
Well, yes, I was. We still have our study group to this day. We communicate with each other, and we encourage each other in a job seeking process. And prior to my company getting contracts, that takes a period. So we go back and forth in our study group on Discord, and we communicate on what's out there, what's the job market like, who has an interview. We encourage each other on interviews. We ask each other a few technical questions just to make sure we're prepared for it. And right to this day, I have two companies that's getting set to interview me. One is at 80,000. The other is at 93,000 a year.
Wow.
So, and they've been calling me all day trying to prepare me for an interview and getting more information from me so that they can have, asking me, do I have any vacations planned? And I haven't had an initial interview with these people yet. So when he mentioned 500,000 opening positions, I'm telling you guys, this is an employee's market. You are in the minority. You have leverage to negotiate what you want to be paid. I mean, and can you imagine, these two companies could end up fighting over me if they want to both offer me a position. And I've at least been talking to 2 or 3 companies per week since I've graduated.
Wow, that's and to go back to what you were saying before, you're in your 40s, and one of your concerns was, is it too late to get into this field? But based on what you're telling me and what we've actually seen, we have 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds graduating and finding work in the field. So even if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you're definitely going to have a great career for the rest of your life. But if you're in your 40s, 50s, it's not too late to join this industry, because there's so many job opportunities. And what they want, the employers want, are skilled people. They want people who are skilled in this and know how to do it.
They don't care how old you are. They don't care what color you are. They don't care how you look. They don't care about your background. They just want somebody to help them secure their data.
Now, how did you start preparing for your job search? You said you established your company pretty quickly. And then what else have you been doing to start getting into the field?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I did want to share something in regards to that. What I've done, I still have a resume that has my last position as a 2019. I put in the education field, I put Kingsland University there. And guess what, guys? I put the Kingsland University logo on the top right-hand corner of my resume. That speaks volume, because they see that even if I was out for 3 years, they see that I have been learning. I've been in school, getting my education, still maintaining my relevance to the market. Also, you want to keep in mind that companies are going to call you. So if you're like me, who try to block a lot of spam calls, you're going to have to unblock a lot of these calls, because these calls coming in may look like spam, but they're not spam. They're companies actually looking to hire people. So I missed a couple of calls that way, and I had to take my robocaller off and disable it until I can, get something solid, a position in place. Then I put my robocaller back on to start blocking these unwanted spam calls. But not all of these calls are going to be spam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you updated a resume. What about LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn? Do you utilize it for networking and stuff?
I am on LinkedIn, Jay Hunter Lee on LinkedIn. You can reach me there. You can reach me, Jay Hunter Lee, on just about any platform. So, but as far as LinkedIn, I have not been using that for the job market. Recently, I've been trying to add my cybersecurity experience on my LinkedIn. For some reason, every time I try to go to save it, it wouldn't save. So I kind of left it alone. But I am on LinkedIn. So at some point, I'll be able to put my cybersecurity things on there.
Mm-hmm.
And the company who's interviewing me, getting ready for an interview, they did reach out to me, and I saw that they were on my LinkedIn page. So they said, well, we still have your resume. So, we still have everything we need to have. But I told them that I am working on getting that stuff on my LinkedIn. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
act right.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, and why did you figure like you started your company pretty quickly into graduating? I mean, starting the program. What was your thought process behind that? It sounds to me that you wanted to start getting out there uh, pretty quickly, even though
Yes,
you didn't have the full on credentials yet, but yeah, you were able to do that pretty quickly for Security Hack.
that's correct. Well, I've always been entrepreneurial. So, just about everything that I do in my life, I've created a business for it. So, if you see these logos, all these logos are related to something that I have a passion for in my life. Speaking, seminars, building things, going into real estate development, and of course, cybersecurity. So I said, you know what? These are the things that I have a passion for. I'm going to create businesses. So what you do is turn your passion into a money-making machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the good thing is, now that I come from Kingsland, once I get my security hack fully operating and starting, I will join forces with Kingsland and say, hey, let me talk to your graduates because we have some openings.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. That's awesome. Wow. So it's kind of like a win-win,
Yes,
for
absolutely.
you, and you know that the candidates coming out of Kingsland are trained and skilled and all that stuff too. So you can trust that they're going to do the job that you need them to do.
Exactly.
Wow, that's really cool. So I do want to talk about our career placement services for everyone who doesn't know. Um, like I said, we train you how to become a cybersecurity professional, 7-month program. You get the credentials, the accredited credentials. And while you're in the program, you start working on your job search. That's highly important. Why? Because if the goal is to get you into the new career quickly and change from what you're doing now to this brand new career, why not land a job as quickly as you can? So while you're in the program, you simultaneously work on your resume, your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn has played a big role in some of the graduates I've spoken to. They've gotten some networking out of it. They've gotten positions out of it. Just being connected with the cybersecurity world is very helpful. And also you're learning from each other. What we're also going to help you with is one-on-one career mentor sessions with a cybersecurity professional. They're going to coach you on interviewing and negotiating, where to look for jobs and things like that. So like I said, the number one goal is to have something lined up for you by the time you graduate or soon after. And in many cases, graduates are finding jobs in the field within 1 to 3 months after graduating. So, and the more proactive you are, the better opportunities. The more you're putting your resume out there, even before you graduate, and you're starting to get these interviews going, the quicker you're going to be able to get into the new field. And as Jay's mentioning, he's finding jobs, opportunities at 80, 90, and who knows, he may be able to negotiate and do something even stronger than that. But this is just the starting point as well. There's going to be so many opportunities in your career path as you take the steps up the career ladder. So it's really cool stuff. And I did get a question, when is the next start date after the May? We start every 2 months, so you can expect another one in July. But I wouldn't put your career off for 2 months if you can handle it. Okay. All right. So now, Jay, what are you working on now? It sounds like you're going to be doing some interviewing and stuff like that. But what are your goals for, let's say, the next 1 or 2 or 3 years? What are your plans?
1, 2, or 3 years is focusing on cybersecurity. My real estate development project I'm working on, those are the 2 forefronts. For cybersecurity, that's seemed to be going a lot faster at this point. So the key is to just land a solid job first, and then get my feet wet, a little bit, and then start focusing on getting my own contracts for security hack, because there's a process with that. Being a minority is a good thing about it, but you have to go through the government process, SBAs and stuff like that. So that takes a little bit longer. So until then, at least I'll be getting my feet wet, as working on the job. So hopefully, 2 to 3 years from now, I'll be relaxing and enjoying my time in Monaco.
Yeah. Now the 2 positions that you are going to be interviewing for, are they like on site? Are they remote? What what kind of capacities are they? Like, are they the policy side or network security?
Yes, they're both hybrid positions. So there'll be times in the office and time at home. And that's something that we'll discuss, once they decide to bring me on board, we'll discuss how much time will be at home, how much time will be there.
Yeah. Now, this is for everyone. I do know that cybersecurity roles are remote, are on site. And especially because of the pandemic, it really has relaxed organizations to be comfortable and actually embrace having a remote staff. And a lot of what you do with cybersecurity, you don't have to be in the office. You're not on the servers, and you're not plugging things in. You're doing everything behind a computer. So a day in the life of cybersecurity professional is you're behind the computer, you're either monitoring things, you're repairing things, you're setting up protocols. So it could be a very passion-filled career for you. Imagine waking up every morning and not having any doubts about what you do for a living. You just wake up and you're like, I get paid for this. This is awesome, kind of thing.
What Ricky is speaking to, don't mean to cut you off, Ricky, there. What he's speaking to, you have 2 different types of, you have your NOC, that's your network operating system. Those are the people who deals with the physical aspects of the networks. Servers, plugging them in, making sure that the wire closet is intact, things like that. You're not going to be doing the NOC. You're going to be doing what is called the SOC, the security operating system. In the SOC, the network people protects the network. The SOC protect the network operations. So what they refer to you to protect them. So pretty much what you will be doing, you will see a lot of these jobs is going to be, you're going to see remote on the side of the job announcement. So you're going to see a lot of jobs are really remote.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And for what was your favorite topic or favorite topics that you learned while you were in the program?
I really love learning Linux, Python, Splunk, Wireshark, and Burp Suite.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The most challenging for me, might not be for you guys, but the most challenging for me was Metasploit. And Metasploit, the only reason why it's more challenging because it takes me a little bit longer to grasp it. And it's not having to do with not knowing the technology. It's have something to do with understanding the rules of it, meaning which scan you want to run first. Do I run this scan first or the next scan? So it's pretty much like that. So it's going to take me a little bit more time in the lab as I'm practicing that all the time now, going into the lab, practicing my Metasploit, trying to get that up, because Metasploit is going to be very, very important for pen testing, your penetration testing.
Yeah. Now, and penetration testing is where, what can you explain what you do in that kind of
Yes.
path?
Yes, your penetration testing, that's going to be on your red team. You have your red team and you have your blue team. Your blue team is your defense. Your red team is your attack. So when you're doing penetration testing, is pretty much you are hacking the organization's network to find vulnerabilities. So when you find vulnerabilities, you create a report and you send that report in, and then the blue team have to respond to it and fix what you found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, everyone, that you can you really can find your passion within the uh, the industry of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is kind of a broad industry, even though it may not feel like it, but it's kind of like the medical field. Like, I want to join the medical field. Well, there's a lot of things you do inside the medical field. Cybersecurity is very similar, and so when you're going through the program, you're going to start embracing certain aspects of it, and that'll lead you to what career path you want to decide to take your career into. So you can learn how to defend, you can learn how to attack ethically, ethical hacker.
Yep.
But you're a superhero. There's no doubt about it, because you're protecting millions of data records inside of your organization or organizations systems against, being stolen or used against people, or even systems being taken down and stuff like that. So it's a really it makes you feel good because you're helping, and it also makes you feel good because you get to do something really cool, high tech, and passion filled. So I wanted to tell you about our exclusive announcement. We are enrolling for the classes for the May 9th classes. For you specifically who are here today, if you go to this link, kingslanduniversity.com/enroll, this will expedite your enrollment process. I will call you immediately, and we will talk about your situation and see if this program is right for you. So if you take your phone out or you're on your computer, just go to this link right here, kingslanduniversity.com/enroll. Fill out the short form there, and that'll signify to me that you want to start talking about the enrollment process so we can get you set up. When you do enroll for the program, you will have access to your pre-work. You're going to actually get started on learning Python programming language before you start your program. And that's going to get you warmed up for your classes. That's going to give you a head start, but it's also going to get you into the mindset of, hey, I really did this. I'm starting on my path towards cybersecurity. I'm learning Python. This is going to help me, along the journey. So it's really cool. So if you enroll, get access to the Python programming training, and we go from there. So what I want to do now, folks, is open up for some Q&A. This is your opportunity to ask questions to either myself or to Jay, and then we can answer them for you. So if you open up your chat in Zoom and type in your questions, as a matter of fact,
Ricky, can I make a suggestion?
Oh yeah, please.
Or a request?
Yep.
For the Q&A, I would like to see them and hear them as well. I want to engage them on a more personal level.
Yeah, 100%. I just opened up so everyone can unmute themselves. So if you do have a question, feel free to turn on your camera if you're comfortable doing that, and unmuting yourself so you can ask the questions that way.
Or they can do the little hand raise as well. That way, yeah.
Hi, Olivia. Did you have a question?
Yes, hello, Mr. Course.
How long is the course? It's 7 months. Yeah, it starts May 9th. You're going to graduate December 3rd, and then you'll be ready to go.
And what is the cost?
That's a great question. Let me open that screen up real quick.
Mhm.
The tuition for the cybersecurity program is $16,000. That includes everything. You're getting your cybersecurity lab, you're getting your career placement services. And remember, the career placement is one-on-one mentorship. It's a $5,000 value that you're getting there. The lab is $720 value. So that's all included if you do the tuition loan. If you do the deferred payment plan, you do have to pay for your lab. And I can go through that later, but the tuition and fees is $16,000. We have a 100% financing approval rate on our loan and our deferred payment plan. So no matter what your credit history is, we can get you into a plan that works best for you. And the difference, yeah,
Sorry, the requirements?
the requirements for enrollment
Yeah.
are you have to be a US citizen or a permanent resident. If you're not, if you're international, you can pay. So there's some other payment options we have for you. The other one is 18 or older. You have to have a computer or a laptop with high-speed internet. And you have to be determined to get into this field. Because if you're not determined, you're not gonna stick with it. And we want people who, I don't want to lock somebody into a $16,000, obligation. I want you
I
to
understand.
earn from this. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay.
Do we have other questions? Feel free to unmute your mic and you can ask that way. You can also chat too in the chat tool. Yeah, and going back while I'm waiting for people to ask questions, going back to the requirements, the computer requirements are, you just need a basic laptop, desktop. It can be Mac, Windows, Linux, as long as you have Zoom, because that's how you attend your classes. And you will also have access to all of your labs, and your program materials are online, so you just need a browser. Let's see, Rashab. So I obviously want to start ASAP, but one thing that's holding me back is that I have a job lined up. And my background is IT and informatics. The part that is holding me back is demand of work, because I attend a previous webinar. I also saw how much work. So I don't want to fall behind. Is there a way to check the syllabus? Yeah, the syllabus. I can definitely send that over to you. And what I'm going to do, I'm writing a note here. I'm going to send the syllabus out to everyone here on the call. So you'll have the brochure. Within the brochure is the curriculum. So you'll be able to see that. Essentially, you need to dedicate about 20 to 25 hours a week to your classes plus your homework time. If it does take you longer than that, then that's fine. We want you to be prepared for this career. So take as much time as you want. Do extra work on Python or on Linux, or some of the things that you struggle on. Spend time on that. It's definitely going to pay off. And also, Rashab, the majority of our students work full time, and they're able to squeeze in the education, their family life, and all that. It's 7 months. It is a sacrifice, of course, but you certainly can do it. You can find a way to manage it. You may have to take one or two things out of your life for just 7 months, but I guess the big question is, how important is this for you? AK is asking, do I need to have IT experience? So Jay, do you want to pick that one up?
You need 30 years of IT experience. Do you have it? No, you need no experience at all. Like as I've indicated before, even though I have 28 years of IT experience, when it came to learning what you're going to learn, that was out of the window. I was learning, it felt like I was learning IT all over again. The only IT experience that was really relevant going into this program was knowing what the keyboard and the mouse is. So you're gonna be fresh, just like it was fresh for me, even though I had an IT experience. So no IT experience is really necessary.
Mm. Yeah, we're going to take you all the way from the ground floor up to the advanced. We will spend time to make sure you have the concepts, and really, even though it's 7 months and you learn a lot in that amount of time, you take baby steps. You're not going to learn penetration testing on day one. You're going to learn how to do Python or this or that, and you're going to take baby steps. It's going to then add up to you becoming a cybersecurity professional. Rashab, it looks like you're graduating high school soon. This is a fantastic career to start your career in, and so we can definitely talk about that. And folks, if you want to unmute yourself or raise your hand, there's a little raise your hand button, so that we can call on you and you can open your mic. Feel free to unmute yourself as well and just talk away. Oneida, is it as fun as I think? I'm pretty sure I've had ADHD and anxiety at least half my life, and I'm 42. Jay, what do you think?
I'm glad you referred to me for that. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. I think it's Oneida Molina.
Yes,
Hopefully I can.
yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Let me address the ADHD aspect. I have a friend, but it's not a friend. He's a PhD in the field that monitors and diagnoses with ADHD. And what I've found listening to him and doing some of my own research is ADHD basically is where people diagnose someone of who doesn't have that level to educate them. You are going to be in the, I would say, the ADHD industry, to be honest with you, because you're dealing with technology. They said the same thing about Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
They said the same thing about a friend of mine who was a mentor of mine. He's one of the greatest speakers of all time. His name is Mr. Les Brown. They said he had ADHD. So you're going to be fine. If ADHD is something that in your history, you're in the right place.
Okay.
As far as anxiety, there's one thing that I would suggest for that is to meditate. Sometimes just take yourself away from the monitor. Sometimes meditate, come back to it. You have a fresh mind all over again. So I think you're going to be phenomenal in this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you have any other questions? So let's see. I'm going to go down and just start naming people. We're here for you guys. We want to answer your questions. If you have any question, please let us know. We got Adil, AK. I think we answered AK. Anthony Harper, Artie, Brooke. Feel free to unmute yourself or just type it in. Any question you have about the industry, about what you may be able to get into, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Rashab, I'll be emailing you, everyone here today, I'll be emailing the brochure. So as soon as I get off this call, you'll be able to receive that and review it. And then my contact details will be in there too. You could also go to the link. Let me see if I can find it real quick. kingslanduniversity.com/enroll. And I'll contact you after that as well. There we go. Posted it in here. Artie, how long is the job search support available? Virtually as long as you need it. So we're going to help you find a job. So however long that takes, plus if you get out into the field and you maybe you left your employer and you want to do something else, come back. As Jay has mentioned, the students are in study groups still, even though they've graduated. And I know that there's been graduates who are still in contact with the instructor, doing networking with teacher aides and all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to come back as well. We want you to have a job, but not more importantly, we want you to keep a job that you're happy with, you know? Oneida asked, do you guys help set up financial aid part? Yeah. Once you and I chat, we are going to talk about the process for financing, and I'll walk through very carefully what those are. So you'll be able to make an informed decision by the time you're done. Kimberly Brown, did you have a question?
No, I just was able to join right now.
Oh, hi, how are you doing?
All right, how are you?
Very good, very good. We're here with Jay. He's been talking about his story. So we're just
Oh.
answering questions now.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It told me to come on at 4. I didn't know y'all started before that.
Oh, got it. Oh no, it was 4 p.m. Eastern.
Oh,
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you a recording because we went through quite a bit. Let's
okay.
see.
Yes, Kimberly, just to catch you up real quick, you can find me on any social media platform under J Hunter Lee.
Okay.
Yep, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, you name it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll listen to the end of this and then I'll find you. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So I'm seeing a few questions about the tuition. Let me go back to that page so you can see. And we have 2 programs for financing your education. The option number 1 is a tuition loan. This is where you can pay off the program over 36 monthly payments. Like I said, it's 100% financing approval rate on this. So we just take the 16,000, there's interest on it, you divide it over 36 monthly payments, and those payments start right away. The second option is more expensive because we are covering for your educational process, but you will be able to defer your tuition payments until after you graduate. And what's great about this is that it gives you the ability to not have to worry about making your payments while you're in the program, but you start paying after. With the deferred payment plan, you do have to pay for the lab fee. The lab fee is $720, and it can be divided over 6 months of $120 a month. So while you're in the program, you do have to pay for that. If you do the tuition loan, it's covered, but the deferred payment plan, because you're basically deferring your tuition until later, you do have to pay for the lab while you're in the program. And then, like I said, everyone's situation is a little bit different. So there's not much more detail I can get into without really getting into your situation and what you need. Any other questions on, feel free to unmute yourself, guys.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a few questions. The first one would be, this isn't for me, this is for some people I have in mind that, could you also send me the video recording of this meeting? I'd like to send it to a few friends who would be interested, I think. But
Oh yeah,
second,
my pleasure. Mhm.
yeah, but then the second question for that would be, because it doesn't apply to me, because thankfully I can use a GI Bill, but when you talk about deferring payments and you still have to pay for labs, what is the cost of the labs that you would have to pay prior to all the deferment stuff? And that's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. The lab fee is $720. You can pay for that upfront or in full, and you'll get a slight discount, or you can divide it over 6 monthly payments while you're in the program. Those payments are $120 a month. And those payments start about 2 or 3 weeks after you start your program. So, you're not going to start paying right away. You'll pay in late May or something like that. So it's $120 a month for 6 months.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and everyone here, I'll be sending out the video recording too, so you can share it with your friends, or if you want to, come back and watch it. Rashab is asking, I heard you guys offer ISA. Can you go into that a little bit? So the ISA is called an income share agreement. This is where you defer your tuition. We've paused accepting the ISA because our new deferred tuition plan is far better. So that's the plan that I've already been talking about, where you defer your tuition until after you graduate and pay that way. Great questions, everyone. Yeah, Rashab, the way that the deferred tuition program works is you can earn grants for paying a deposit, a tuition deposit up front, and that'll actually reduce your tuition that is deferred later. So the more deposit you pay, the bigger grant you receive on top of that. We actually match your deposit 200%. So if you put down $500, you'll get $1,000 grant. And you can see how that can double pretty quickly. So that's going to reduce your tuition. And then the remaining tuition will be deferred until after you graduate from your program. And your payments will start 30 days after you graduate, not right away, but 30 days later. So that gives you time to get settled in. No, so the deferred tuition plan is more expensive, as I mentioned. The tuition for cyber is $16,000, and that's what you do with the tuition loan. But if you, oops, let me share my screen. If you do the deferred tuition plan, then the tuition is increased by $9,000 to $25,000. Okay, so it is more expensive. Again, we're covering your instructors, your teacher aides, all that stuff until after you graduate. So it takes a big toll on us. And that's why the deferred tuition is more expensive, to help compensate for that. All right. Any other questions? A lot of great questions. Hopefully this was edifying for you all here. And we were able to impart on you the benefits of joining the field of cyber, or at least, you know, is this the right field for you? I don't know. Hopefully this was able to help out. Yeah, Alexi, do you have a question? I think they're muted. They unmuted on accident. I muted them again.
Hey, Ricky, I have another thing I want to share real quick.
Yeah.
If we do another one of these for the new students before they start the new cohort, I would like to bring a friend of mine on with me who is the vice president of an IT staffing firm.
Oh, wow.
That way she can share from an employer standpoint what is out there, what they're looking for, you know, and things like that. Because I've been in touch with her throughout my entire time, and I forgot to mention that she also has another company, a third company that they're going to be having me interviewing with. So
Wow.
maybe,
Okay.
if you do this again, maybe I invite her on with us so she can explain it from the employer side. You know, then the students can hear your front, they can hear my front and the employer's front. Where we covered all three angles.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because she could say, here are the characteristics I look for, you know.
Exactly.
And then everyone can start preparing for that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. What do you guys think? Do you like that idea? Larry, do you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw your mic unmuted. Sorry. All right, guys. Well, we're going to hang out for one more minute. If you do have any other questions, unmute yourself, share your camera, ask in the chat, whatever you want. And then, but I'll definitely be sending everyone the curriculum so you can review that, and the video recording. I'll send that after. Yeah, Oneida, if you guys are doing the enrollment application, it's just an application. It's not, you're not signing your life away. It's just to kickstart our conversation to talk about this. And Oneida, you're going to want to select cybersecurity, correct? Stephen, we've started about an hour ago, so I'll send everyone the recording of this after, so you can watch what you missed. Adil is asking what level of typing skills? Jay, how would you answer that?
0. If you're just a puncture, you'll become a better puncture.
5 words a minute puncher to 10 words a minute puncher.
That's right.
Oh, so you're not like I know in software development, you're doing a lot of typing and coding and stuff like
Yep.
that. Is it heavy coding in cybersecurity?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing Python, there is going to be coding there. There's some coding in Linux too, because you can get into Python from Linux. Here what I would suggest, because I type very fast. And that's just because from the 90s, I used to have what is called typing tutor. I don't know if they still have that out today, but you can look for some typing programs, and it's all about where your hand is positioned on the keyboard. So just get on, try to find some typing tutor programs online and just download them to your laptop and just practice. It'll tell you exactly where to position your fingers and everything like that. And just practice and just find a sentence that's easy for you to type and just keep practicing typing that sentence all over again. The dog jumped over the hole or something like that. And just keep typing it. And then you start to get better. Then try something else and then get online and start typing up, different stories or whatever. It'll get better in time. Repetition is everything.
Yeah. And Adil, your typing speed is not a requirement to get into our program. So, but as Jay is mentioning, the more you're using those muscles and the memory of where the keys are, you're going to get faster.
Yeah.
Naturally. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for the questions. Like I said, I will be sending you an email with the brochure with the link to this recording. If you have further questions, feel free to reply to me. Jay has invited all of you to join him on LinkedIn if you want to do any networking that way. And then I'm sure he'd be more than happy to, or on Facebook as well.
What are you doing?
Yeah, any platform.
Mhm. Shamika, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, sounds good. All right, well, everyone, thank you very much for your time being here. I really do appreciate it. Jay, most importantly, thank you for sharing, for coaching everyone here. It's been great.
Thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to take you up on your offer too. I think we'll get back together and have you on again.
Yes, I would love to. Absolutely.
Great, great. All right, everyone. Thank you again and have a great day.
Take care, everybody.